Hi, I'm Chi, outdoor fitness coach, and I wanted to introduce myself and tell you a little bit more about my coaching and my coaching style. So most of my athletes come to me to either train for a long endurance race that takes several months to prepare for, perhaps a race season, maybe a little bit of both, and sometimes they just wanted to train to feel stronger, feel better, and perhaps get leaner. So my style of training is comprised of 5 main components. The first one is I start with you, the client, the athlete. What do you want? What are you looking for? What are your goals? Why are those your goals? And what else is going on in your life, from work, your business, your family, perhaps maybe you're in school. So I try to get a big picture of who you are and what it is that you're looking for. Let's say it's a simple, like, I want to complete a race. And then we talk a little bit more about where you've been and what your experience has been. So we always start with you, the athlete, and your goal to start with. It starts from the very beginning, from the moment we start communicating, and it's an ongoing conversation throughout your training program. The second thing that my second approach is creating blocks of training so that you know what you're training for in a particular time. And a lot of times the blocks are in blocks of months. So maybe 1 month is more about volume. Maybe we start working on intensity. So that way you know what the purpose of your training is, and I outline that very clearly. In addition to those blocks, and there's 2 components that I want to add, is making sure it fits in with the rest of your schedule. So if you're going away for a trip out of town, I'm not going to put a training block in that time where it's going to stress you out. If you're with your family, then maybe that's a rest time. And so we try to build that around the rest of your life. The second thing is creating the right amount of stress for you. So more isn't always better, but you have to have the right amount to create the stress needed to train. So we balance all the information out, which leads me to the third component, metrics. Measuring our goals, measuring our outcome is really, really important. It helps to keep us both accountable, so the athlete accountable for what you're doing, and measure and see progress, and for me to see how things are shifting and changing. It goes anywhere from using Training Peaks metrics from your fitness and your form, to how you're sleeping, perhaps other components like how much elevation have you done this week. So if you're doing a mountain bike race, like let's say a long endurance race, we're going to start to add more elevation. And I celebrate all of our wins. Sometimes the wins are small. Maybe you training and measuring your training during your work trip, because work trips are really hard to integrate. Even if it's half an hour, that's a win. So we do measure things along the way to recognize where things are going right, and also when to tweak it. The fourth component is the complete training program. So it's not just about riding that makes you a better athlete, it's what you're doing off the bike as well. So how are you complementing your training, whether it's strength training, it's recovery, maybe seeing a massage therapist monthly, or other things that make you stronger, because recovery and prevention are huge, and it's when you get injured that you realize how important that is. And I try to mitigate any injury, especially overuse injury. The body will tell you when you've gotten too far, so we try to listen to your body and just see what issues are coming up, because you shouldn't be going through pain when you're training. The fifth component is preparation for your race. So and if you're not doing a race, this may look a little different, but let's say you have a big A race that you've been training for. On the morning of that race, nothing should be different. So how you execute your plan is so big. You could train perfectly, but if you don't know how to execute for a race, that could be a big game changer. So throughout the program or the training, we make sure you know what you're going to do. So the morning of your race or your whatever that you do, we're training for, you have planned everything out, from what you eat for breakfast to what you're wearing to how hard you're going to how many matches you have. All of that, none of it's going to be a surprise. So that is the goal for that, and that's a really big part of the training. So if you want more information, come on to my website, outdoorfitnesscoach.com. I have a list of services, so one-on-one coaching. I even do skills coaching for like training for a gravel race or mountain bike race. If you'd like to talk more, or maybe we can set up a Zoom call, send me an email, chi@outdoorfitnesscoach.com, and I will be sure to set up a one-on-one session with you. All right, thank you.